Hello everyone! So I took the week off without meaning to. I fully expected to have a video maybe Wednesday, thought another one on Friday. I don't know when this is going to go out, but yeah, last time I talked to you, I said that I was taking the weekend off. I had big plans, and those plans are not typical. Well, maybe they're typical for parents. I don't know. But I will tell you a little bit about what I did, and I'll put a timestamp right here in case anyone wants to skip over it. This is my channel, and I figure I'll fill you in on what I've been doing. So last weekend, we did not have anything planned. We had no practices, no scheduling issues, no tournaments, no games, nothing. And my husband decided to take our boys off on a little road trip adventure. I don't know what you want to call it. It was a fun weekend for them. And I can count on one hand the number of times that's happened in our over 2 decades of marriage. And now, so that was a big deal because, you know, this is only the second time and they have never done anything like that. I'm not going to go into details of where they went or anything, but they had a great time. They did everything that they wanted to do. So that left me and my daughter at home on a girls' weekend for the first time, maybe ever. If it ever happened before, she was a teeny tiny baby. And my daughter, I'm not exaggerating when I say she is the sweetest little girl. I mean, absolutely. And this is not me as a parent saying that. I would have said my boys were sweet when they were younger too. But this is something I hear from her friends' parents, from teachers. It's just part of her personality. And she gets a lot of mother-daughter moments, but this was unique, you know, to be able to just stay at home with mom all weekend. And she's not a teenager yet. She's a tween. Teen years are looming, and I've been there with my boys, so I'm hoping that sweetness remains. But just to give you a little background, so this cardigan I'm wearing, it's something cheap, it's old, it's very comfortable, and she actually, I noticed a few years ago that it kept disappearing and reappearing. I didn't know what was happening with it, and I had been misplacing it, probably at the bottom of the laundry hamper is what I thought, but it turned out that she was swiping it at times because she liked to have it, she liked to sleep with it, or now that she's older, she likes to wear it after I've worn it, which I guess is a good thing because it is very baby animal-esque. It's an adorable little habit of hers, honestly. I do love it. And so that just kind of shows you a little facet of her personality. She's very sweet. She does not get a lot of one-on-one time, even though we try and do stuff together often, but a whole weekend I told her was just for her. We would do anything at home that she wanted to do, and it was mainly food related. She picked, let's go over everything. So she picked donuts from her favorite bakery, and donuts are a big thing. We only have them like once or twice a year, so that was very exciting for her. We got takeout from her favorite restaurant. We got, massive amounts of junk food in candy form, and we did facials, and we decided, by we I mean her, to just watch TV all weekend. And what she picked to watch was binge watching her favorite episodes of I Love Lucy. Really, really cute. So that's what we did. We ate way too much sugar. We watched about 48 hours nonstop of I Love Lucy, watched absolutely nothing else all weekend, and it was a great time. My boys had fun on their trip. Everyone was excited coming home Sunday night, and yeah, it was just, I spent most of Monday detoxing because I'm getting a little too old for that amount of sugar. It was a fabulous weekend. So I thought, you know, Monday I'm going to take off, do absolutely nothing, even though I've technically done nothing all weekend, but I really did feel terrible on Monday. Tuesday, I spent most of the day with my husband. Wednesday, I woke up and I thought, well, I'll film a video maybe, and then just never got around to it. I was like, well, I'll do it Friday because Thursdays are never good. But I thought I'll do it Friday. So here I am. It's gonna be a little rough because I'm just gonna kind of power through everything. I didn't want to leave it till next week. And yeah. And so here's the video. where to begin, because a lot has happened and I really wasn't paying attention to that much of it because, like I said, I was busy having fun last weekend. And let's just start with little Betty's life jacket. This frustrated me. I actually didn't notice it initially when we were just watching I Love Lucy and I saw the picture was posted, and my first instinct was, or my first realization to it was, that the golden child is being featured again. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way in the child's manner. I mean the mother favors her. Now, I just had a mother-daughter weekend. It's normal, it's natural to do things, to focus on one child over the other at times, but there's been plenty of events over my son's lives that they could tell you I spent time with them, I focused on them, and we don't really get that from Megan. It's like she forgets that she has a son, and that every time I see that, it frustrates me on his behalf, because it's just not fair to him. And then I had somebody point out that Betty is not wearing a life jacket, and I went back and looked at the picture because, like I said, my first just instinct was, of course she posts one with the daughter and not the son, or not both of them. Now, the life jacket, I have seen so many of her fans try and defend this. It is indefensible. It is disgusting to even try and defend child endangerment, and that's what it is. Oh, she was in her father's arms. Who cares? If another boat rams into them, it's not going to matter who is holding that little girl. She would fly into the water, and even if she is a decent swimmer at 3, it's still a body of water. It's not even like being thrown into a pool. Now, I will use my own kids as an example. They have grown up on boats, on a boat, and life jackets are non-negotiable. My oldest son is an adult, technically, in age, and he knows he does not get on the jet ski without a life jacket. He does not take his sister out on the jet ski without her in a life jacket. That's just not even debatable. It's common sense. You do not go out on a natural body of water without safety measures. Now, if they were adults, as in, like I said, my son is technically an adult, but he knows he cannot take that jet ski out without a life jacket. I wouldn't either. Now, the boat at my age, I kind of play it by ear. I always have one tucked under my seat. That's the law here. If you're an adult, you have to have one on the boat with you. You don't have to be wearing it. I don't even know the law on the age here because kids wear life vests. That's how it is. It's common sense. You get in a car, you put on a seatbelt. You get on a boat, you put them in a life vest. You put your child in a car, they're in a car seat. These are safety measures. They're not negotiable as, well, her father's holding her. It's the same as a picture of Archie in Megan's lap in what appears to be a moving car if you look at the background, and he is not being restrained in any way. There is no car seat. There is no seatbelt. And this is a man, as a father, whose mother died in a car accident as a pretty much direct result of not wearing a seatbelt. It just blows my mind that this is even a thing. And quite frankly, yes, I will call them crappy parents in that situation for doing that. There is no excuse for that. None. No one's a perfect parent, but there are things that we can do to mitigate disasters from happening. It does not matter if her father was holding her in his lap. If that boat hit something, like I said, what if there was some drunk person on another boat and they rammed into that boat? What if they hit a wake in a weird way and it just jostled everybody and she went flying? Things happen. You can't prepare for everything that happens, but they do happen. And not having something in essence, a baby. I know 3 is not a baby, but when you're talking about water and kids can drown in 2 inches of water, then take the precautions. This is one of those situations where I really hope, with all of her Photoshop pictures that she's released in the past, I really hope this was Photoshopped. I don't know if it was. I'm not an expert on that. The child's hair was blowing in the wind as if she was on a boat. I really, really just hope it was Photoshopped. So moving on, Netflix released their numbers for Meghan's show, and of course she runs to People magazine, allegedly, with a big news story about, because it's one thing I'll give Meghan Markle credit for, celebrating mediocrity and outright failure, because her fans will lap it up as success. This show put up 2.6 million views. There are YouTubers who can do that. It is not impressive for somebody with a worldwide platform, essentially, or at least name recognition, to put up those kinds of numbers. Harry and Meghan, the documentary, I believe, put up, I want to say, over 30 million in the same amount. Possibly more. I don't know if they actually tracked it or publicly tracked it the month that it came out, but these 2.6 million views. Netflix has 300 million subscribers worldwide, and you are celebrating like this is such a big achievement to get less than 1% of all those subscribers to tune in. Less than 1%. Netflix is paying them allegedly $100 million. Now I know probably not that figure. I know it was probably Vanity Fair reported that that was not accurate, but that's what's been pushed. So they are paying this woman $100 million to pull in less than 1% of their subscribers. That's pathetic. That is just sad. And this is despite a massive PR push. Do you really think Netflix expects that kind of return on that amount invested in them? No. That would be stupid business sense. Well, Meghan, at least you're in the ranks of this 1%. Not exactly the cachet is the one you prefer to belong to, but beggars choosers. Megan Sussex. Now, I might be showing my generation here, but it's like trying to make fetch happen, and it is just not going to happen. There is a reason that this woman is not liked. Her attacks on the royals, her lies, her many changing stories, and people are looking for anything to criticize her for. And now she never thinks anything through. We know this about her. But Megan Sussex has now been abbreviated, contracted, whatever you want to call it. I would go with abbreviated, to Megan Sucks. S-U-X is how it's spelled. It trended on X in that manner. And yeah, you could predict it. It's not a new nickname, but it is one that is trending now because somebody just takes the first two letters off Sussex, takes the last letter off of it, and bam, that's what she's going to be known as if she wants this to happen. It's yet another fail on her part. So then we jump to the podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, which is now being called Flounder by a lot of people. And again, is your confession that you suck at being a founder of anything, Meghan? Because it's been a year since ARO was announced, now rebranded as Ever, still no products. We have glimpses of what they're going to be. We have estimates of what the price is going to be, but they're still not out there. So what has she founded to be confessing anything about that she's a failure at founding things? And in fact, with ARO, or As Ever, it looks like it's already such a flop that Netflix had to bail her out. And even then, that wasn't enough to get her products on the shelves in time for her show to drop. And I love lurking on St. Meghan Markle on Reddit. It is a very snarky, entertaining little corner of the internet. And I saw it was actually a Twitter, I always want to call it Twitter. It was an X comment that somebody posted on Reddit, and it was so perfectly describing Meghan Markle and her new podcast, her brand. And it looks like Mary Catherine Ham on X, and she said, Meghan Markle violates my press release rule. Each person only gets so many press releases allotted in a lifetime. Graduations, marriages, divorces, babies, job changes. Other people only have so much capacity to celebrate or be excited about your stuff. This is why a third wedding announcement, or say a fourth baby, might get less fanfare than a first. Fair enough. You have stuff going on. The modern social media era has exacerbated the press release problem as everyone has made a press release of everything. Your gender reveals, your 100,000 followers, your therapy breakthrough, your second gender ID change, and third sexual proclivity announcement. At some point, people just can't care, and at another point, they get annoyed you're insisting they care. We are on at least Megan's 6th or 7th public reinvention at this point, her 5th or so product launch, each an uncomfortable false start, followed by a period of highly paid, inauthentic, and unimpressive work. There are too many press releases. Many people were at Can't Care Anymore a while ago and might not have progressed to So Annoyed except her brand cohesive, vertically synergistic, corporately required to recoup ubiquity for each launch leads us to a news cycle of, wait, she's launching another podcast, bespoke jam company, logo, ethos, last name, thought leadership, mothership? Too many press releases. And bravo to her, because that is absolutely on point. I actually posted a very snarky post once. I'll try and find it. The gist of it was that I was just making fun of all these press releases that come out about her as if we care. And I said, I'm honestly worried that we're just a few away from getting an announcement that Harry went boom boom in the potty, because that is, I feel like we get a press release on every single thing they do as if we're supposed to be interested in it. She has failed at marriage. She's failed at acting. She failed at being a royal. She failed with multiple trademarks. She failed with Spotify, Netflix, The Bench, Polo, 40 by 40, With Love Megan, ARO, As Ever, I'll include that in it. Being an activist, and despite all talk about female empowerment and girl bosses, she's even failed at being a feminist due to the allegations of bullying mainly female employees. Failure to launch or failure to thrive would probably be a better name for this podcast. Megan, you are qualified to talk about 3 topics: social climbing, how to keep your name in the headlines, and toxic failure. The only thing you've found is a dim prince who elevated you, and he didn't need mint or dried flowers to do it. And I have a feeling Limonada might be looking at Spotify, and specifically Bill Simmons and his infamous quote, very shortly. But let's end the video on a happier note. I like to do that when we can. And the Prince and Princess of Wales, it just doesn't get much happier than those two. They attended the Commonwealth service earlier this week, and Princess Anne's reaction to the gorgeous Princess of Wales was everything. I loved this little video. I just love Anne. I think every single royal in the world would do well to emulate her. She is amazing. She is fabulous. She is real, and she is the hardest worker. So take a look at this. And it might be over a week before I get my next video out. As of now, I think it'll be a week from Monday, maybe. I don't know. Life is getting a little chaotic over the next week, so we'll just have to kind of play it by ear and see. Maybe I can squeeze in a quick one. But if you don't hear from me for a week or two, I'll be back eventually. So thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely day, everyone.